This video is not meant to be an exhaustive list nor professional medical advice. Instead, it aims to educate people on a general experience of what being diagnosed with DMD might look like. This video was filmed during the COVID-19 pandemic, and we were limited to a telemedicine scenario. Typically, these types of consultations would take place in person.
Nick is a 5-year-old boy who is about to find out that he is being diagnosed with Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy, or DMD. We will follow him, off camera, his dad, and his doctor, Angela, as we progress through a course of doctor visits to understand what this life-changing disease will entail. It's good to see you again. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Hi, doctor. You as well. Say hi, doctor. Hi, doctor.
So, during our last visit, we looked into getting a blood test to see your creatine kinase levels, and those results came back today. So your son's creatine kinase levels are quite elevated. Normal levels are around 200 or lower. Your son's levels are at around 20,000.
That's quite high. What's wrong, Daddy? What does that mean?
That's a good question, Nick. So there's this thing called creatine kinase in your body. We'll call him CK. So usually your body is like really healthy and it keeps all these little CK guys inside of your big strong muscles. But there's a little problem right now, and so CK is escaping into your blood. So this means that your muscles are not so big and strong right now. So we're gonna play detective, and I'm gonna order you a genetic test to find out what's going on. How's that sound? Okay, so Dad, this is what we're gonna do. So from the symptoms that your son has, which is, we talked about the wide gait, getting tired often, he can't get up as fast, and also the recent blood CK levels. I suspect that he has some type of muscular dystrophy, which is a muscle wasting disease. So we're gonna order a genetic test, and this is a blood test that's gonna help us look for the specific type of disease that your son has.
Did you say a muscle wasting disease? That sounds really serious. And also, we need to go to another place and get another blood test?
I understand, and it is pretty serious, but I don't want to overwhelm you right now. So I understand that this is difficult to take in all at once, but next week, when the results for the genetic test come back, we will discuss exactly what's going on, and we'll know his disease, and then we'll discuss our game plan and what it is that we need to do. So for now, we'll just take it one step at a time. But do you have any questions for me at this time? Hi, welcome back.
Hi, doctor. Hi.
So we're going to review the results that came back from the genetic testing. So we found that he has a genetic mutation on exon 51, and we found that your son is not able to produce normal dystrophin protein. So in the past week, did you happen to search up anything about muscular dystrophy, or do you have any knowledge?
Yes, I did. I tried to do a little research, but I don't quite understand it.
That's okay. I'll explain it as best as I can, and you let me know if you have any questions or just stop me at any time. So exon 51 that your son is missing, it's a genetic code that codes for a certain protein in the body, right? And so this protein is called dystrophin, which is what your son is lacking right now. And it's important because it kind of acts as a shock absorber for any time that your muscles do any work. So if you're contracting it, it kind of absorbs all the shock, right? So it kind of just holds everything together like an anchor. And without dystrophin in the muscle will be subjected to degradation over time.
Okay, I see. I remember reading something about that, but how will this affect my son?
So this type of muscular dystrophy that your son has is rare, called Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy, or people refer to as DMD. At first, it kind of just affects the muscles, and he can have a relatively normal life, maybe the limbs, the legs. But later on, as it gets more severe, there are quite a few complications. So eventually, it will affect his ability to walk and ability to do physical activities. Um, Later on, it will also continue to progress and eventually affect his heart and diaphragm, which are also muscles, right? And this is typically what affects the lifespan of patients, which is usually around 30 years. I'm very sorry.
Wow. Okay.
So unfortunately, there are no cures as of now, but there is good news. The lifespan has increased dramatically since the disease has first started, and these are due to the treatments that have come out. So I want to prescribe many of the medicines that can help your son as well. So first, I like to prescribe a corticosteroid treatment. So this will help prolong your son's ability to walk. There are some side effects, such as weight gain, um, also maybe delayed pubescent development. So I will refer you to a nutritionist and a psychologist that specializes in boys with DMD.
I see. I see. I like to talk to my wife about this. She wasn't able to come today.
Of course, of course. I do also recommend physical therapy though. So if you have a chance, talk to her about that as well. I'll give you the clinic that we are partnered with. But I just want to let you guys know at home, make sure that he doesn't do any downhill exercises or pick up objects that are too heavy for him, which will strain his muscles. These can hurt your son in more ways that they will help him.
Okay, we'll try that. Thank you so much for your help. I'll tell my wife as well.
Great. I know this is a lot to take in, but we'll continue to monitor his progression and adjust as we go, depending on his height and his weight as he gets older. But I just want to make sure that we addressed all of your concerns today. Hello, it's been a while.
Hi, Doc. Nice to see you again.
So I just want to bring you in today because your son is 7 years old now, and he is eligible for a clinical trial actually that can help him with his condition. So are you familiar with clinical trials at all?
No, no, not really. Could you explain?
Of course. Clinical trials are basically a study where your son is enrolled to test new drugs for DMD to see if it's effective at treating his disease. So the trial that I would like to recommend you today, it's called Exondys. It's a gene therapy, and so since your son's genetics is what's not allowing him to make normal dystrophin protein, this therapy could help fix the problem occurring in his genes, which is located at exon 51, right? And so it can help him make functional dystrophin that can help him.
I don't know, doctor. Is it really safe?
Luckily, we do have the treatment in phase 2 of the clinical trial already. So that means several boys before your son has undergone the trials and they haven't experienced any adverse side effects.
Okay, yeah, that sounds promising.
Yes, it is. And as his doctor, I have read the data so far, and the evidence suggests very promising results. So I do recommend trying this treatment for your son. I think that the benefits outweigh any of the possible side effects that your son might experience. And as we've already discussed, um, we are supposed to prepare your son for a wheelchair in the future. But if this treatment does work and it works as well as we hope to, it could very well delay that.
Dr. Angela, thank you so much for taking care of my boy over the years. The clinical trial is going so much better than we could have hoped for. Hi, Dr. Angela.
Hi, Nick. That's good. I'm so happy to hear that. He seems to be doing very well in terms of our measurements too. His muscle biopsies, they look like they have more dystrophin staining around the muscle tissue, so we can actually see that the proteins are being produced.
Yeah, that's good. That's good news, right?
Yes, this is all very good news. By the look of his results, it doesn't seem that he'll need a wheelchair anytime soon.
I'm really, really happy to hear that. Thank you so much, doctor.
It is great news. Thank you so much for participating in this study. Your contribution will help many boys in the future with DMD by being part of this clinical trial. So thank you so much. Despite the positive outcomes from this treatment, as all boys with DMD, Nick eventually will have to be in a wheelchair. Exondys, also known as eteplirsen, is just one of the clinical trials for boys with DMD. As of right now, there is no cure, but we hope that in the future, more treatments are approved by the FDA and can help a variety of DMD boys.